Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here with a video on Pikachu from Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee coming to the Nintendo Switch this year. I wanted to make this video ever since I saw Dan's video that he posted on Twitter about the potential buffs to Pikachu in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Now, during E3 they actually showed a little bit of play through this game, and they showed Pikachu's stats in the game. They also show that Pikachu now has access to Double Kick, which is by level up, which is really cool because it actually helps in the first gym. Obviously, if you've ever played Pokemon Yellow, you know the struggle of playing Onix, as well as having to get a Mankey and the low kick and all that crap. But that's like level 13. It was a pain. You basically lost Onix a lot, so I guess they wanted to make the game a little bit more fair in that regard. But they did more than just that, according to these stats. So, according to these stats, apparently Pikachu has a huge buff from previous Pikachu. Your starter Pikachu has a huge buff from regular Pikachus, and I think this is really smart on their part because they want to, you can catch a whole bunch of different Pokemon in that game, right? And if it's anything like Yellow, obviously, and they already showed Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle, you're going to be able to get them. And like, I'd much rather have a Blastoise or a Venusaur than a Pikachu on my team, right? Going through, I'd much rather have that than a Pikachu. So they wanted to, I think, entice the user or encourage the user or the player to stick with the starter. And this actually might be a huge buff for Let's Go Pikachu as a whole in the competitive metagame, and we'll actually compare the stats right now. So as you can see, they showed a level 9 lonely natured Pikachu right here apparently on the screen. And as you can see, if you go to the damage calc right here, again, big shout out to aDrive who pretty much made this known to me, and now I'm able to make my own video because of him. But on the left you have a regular Pikachu with base 90 speed and 50 SPDF, 50 special attack, 40 defense, 55 attack, 35 HP. But on the right, you have the Pikachu that matches up the stats that they had at level 9. Now, according to this, and obviously it is possible to have this sort of, some of these stats with Eevees, or on the Pikachu and like perfect IVs and whatnot. But it's level 9, it's in the beginning of the game. I doubt they had great Eevees in this Pikachu pumped into it. I mean, they could have, but I kind of doubt it. But anyway, as you can see, the Pikachu on the right has 45 base HP, which is 10 more than the other one. 85 attack, base attack, 50 defense, 85 base special attack, 65 SPDF, and 125 base speed. This is such a huge buff if this is actually true for Pikachu. Not only does it mean that Pikachu is actually a competent Pokemon, but let me show you what this shows at level 100. Let me show you what the stats are at level 100. So at level 100, Pikachu now has 383 speed. If it's perfectly IV'd and perfectly EV'd, speed boosting nature. The example I gave you guys is timid on the screen, and then 269 special attack at neutral, which is good if this Pikachu is able to hold an item like a light ball. If this Pikachu can actually work with light ball. Now, I'm not entirely sure how this will go when you transfer it to whatever game they're giving us in 2019, but as far as this goes, Pikachu now has a big speed buff, and this is an incredible buff for Pikachu because assuming it is able to hold a light ball. If you guys don't know what the light ball does, it doubles Pikachu's actual attack and special attack stats. So they become effectively, what is that, base 170 if I'm not mistaken, which is over 430, I believe. I think it's like 439 at neutral special attack if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm a little bit off with that, but assuming Pikachu can actually work with the light ball, this Pikachu works with the light ball, and these are its actual stats or somewhere close, Pikachu might actually become a giant threat in higher tiers. I'm talking UU and OU. Because this Pikachu outspeeds Greninja, it outspeeds Tornadus Therian form, outspeeds Alakazam, Latios, and with the light ball, HP Ice is going to hit hard. HP Ice is going to hit harder than Coco's HP Ice. And then, just to give you guys an example, Coco only has 95 base special attack, while this Pikachu has base 85. So it's only a little bit of a difference, whereas it's having a light ball that can potentially double its stats. Again, we don't know when it comes to, or what happens with items and this Pokemon in particular with Light Ball, if when you transfer this to a 2019 game, whatever that comes out, will this Pikachu still retain its stats? I'm hopeful and saying, yeah, that'd be great, assuming these are its stats, of course. None of this is confirmed, but this is just based on the screenshot we had. There was some formula, again, that was posted. I'll actually post aDrive's video down below, because, again, I got this from him. Well, these were my own screenshots, because I liked how they looked on my computer, but I got the the idea of the video, and I want to talk about it since aDrive obviously put it. Then is awesome. So Pikachu can be a giant threat. It already has great coverage: electric, ice, and grass. And grass not. Access to Volt Switch and Hidden Power Ice from a Light Ball Pikachu OHKOs a Landorus. Okay, it OHKOs a Landorus Therian, and this is from regular Light Ball Pikachu, by the way. Regular Light Ball Pikachu base crappy special attack at base 50, which obviously doubles it. It almost OHKOs Landorus. It OHKOs max HP Landorus after Stealth Rock 100%, and it always OHKOs offensive Landorus. So this could be a pretty big buff for Pikachu. I do want to know your thoughts on this, obviously. Assuming this is able to work with the Light Ball, and this is even able to be transferred, which it should be able to be transferred. And I guess they did this because, again, they want to, again, encourage you to use your starter Pikachu, especially because your starter Pikachu cannot evolve at all in the game. Same thing with your starter Eevee. So I'm assuming starter Eevee also got some buff as well, which is pretty cool. But yeah, this could be awesome for Pikachu if they give the Light Ball. And like I'm thinking about like transferable events like Ash Greninja, for example. Obviously, it retained its Ash Greninja-ness when you transferred it over to your game. So hopefully, same thing with starter Pikachu. Maybe they'll code it in, but if not, then I guess when you transfer it, it'll just become regular Pikachu stats, which really suck. But at least as far as Let's Go goes, this can be pretty cool, especially when you only have access to well, the original 151 plus some Alolan form, plus the Alolan forms. So this could be really solid for Pikachu in general, and it actually gives me hope. Something I really want from a Gen 1 game, and obviously Let's Go, is buffs to previous Pokemon that just don't deserve the stats they have. I'm gonna give you guys the example of Onix. Okay, Onix is on your screen right now. These are Onix's current stats. Okay, keep in mind, I grew up watching Pokemon. Like, I watched the first episode of Pokemon when it aired. I played through the first game when it came to the US, and I was like 3, 4, and I did play it. I wasn't very good, and it took me a while to learn how to save, but I played it, okay? But anyway, these are Onix's stats. Now, when you think of Onix in the anime, Onix was this giant creature that Brock sent out that was bigger than every other Pokemon that would roar, be like, whoa, and like, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit into it, but Onix was this giant creature that could just do all this work, and it looked really strong. I mean, it's a bunch of boulders. How could it not be strong? But when you actually go to Onix's stats, they are so disappointing. Base 45 attack. What is that? That's not even over 200 if you go neutral nature, man. And even if you go adamant, that's like what, 207, I think? 207, 209? Yeah, 207. So it's actually incredibly crappy. Now, obviously, some people, I tweeted about how I wanted Onix to have a buff, and people were like, well, he's a Little Cup mon for a reason. You think they thought about Little Cup? A tier that we made in a community-based format from Smogon? They did not think about Little Cup at all. No, they just made Onix, and Onix, keep in mind, I mean, they might have already known about Steelix or started working. I know a lot of Pokemon. I think Rhyhorn or Rhydon was like the first Pokemon ever made. But I know a lot of Pokemon didn't make the original cut, but ended up making it, in the second generation, third generation, whatever. And we also have that demo that recently came out that shows a lot of stuff that we actually got later, which is pretty cool. But Onix just has such crappy stats, man. Like, help this boy out. So I really hope they do. If they continue this trend of buffing, and obviously the Let's Go starter is your starter, but I would really love if Onix could get buffed in attack, and I don't really care about HP. I would love for it to get higher than, this Alolan base HP. This is literally a Alola right here, by the way. This crappy HP stat. This is straight up Alola. So I would love Onix to get that. And obviously Steelix and Mega Steelix. Mega Steelix in particular has like some beautiful stats. Mega Steelix has beautiful stats. So they might not be too keen on buffing Onix, but I would really like that. Its speed is great. Base 70 speed is, for a rock, it's pretty great. But please buff its stats. Another Pokemon that I think could get a buff, and you guys can tell me the mons that you would like to get buffs as well. I didn't want to go too crazy with them. Like, I don't want them to buff Clefable. Clefable is already a pain to deal with. Imagine Clefable with higher defense And special defense stats? No. No, thank you. It's already tough to take on as it is. But Nidoqueen, I think, is one that is pretty fair. And obviously, they gave it the buff and the ability Sheer Force, and you couple that with Life Orb, and it hits incredibly hard. But I would love it to get more than base 75 special attack, base 92 attack. Like, I think its defensiveness is fine, whatever. Maybe buff its defense a little bit to base 100. That'd be cool. It's already a tank as it is. But buff its special attack, man. Let's give it base 85. Like, you know, Nidoking has base 85 special attack? And Nidoking hits hard because of Life Orb and Sheer Force. But even then, it doesn't hit that as hard as it could. So Nidoking is another one that I would love for them to buff. From Generation 1. And there's a few other Pokemon that I want to go through. Like, I think Jinx should have more speed. But then again, these Mons, when it comes to at least competitive singles, they'd probably be borderline broken. But those are just my thoughts on that. And I honestly would love to hear yours. And what you think about the whole Pikachu as well as potentially Eevee being buffed. So let me know your thoughts. I think if it is able to have Light Ball, it's going to be extremely solid. And I would consider using it in OU as well. It has good coverage. Grass Knot, it's literally slower Tapu Koko without terrain, but hits harder because if it's able to hold a Light Ball, it hits incredibly. Actually, I have to run the calc on that, compare them. But either way, I do want to know your thoughts. Regardless of it being able to hold Light Ball, right, or not, assuming Pikachu keeps these stats when it's transferred to, you know, a 2019 game. And we don't even know how items work in Let's Go, honestly. Assuming it keeps these stats as it's transferred to a 2019 game, and, you know, base or the 383 speed, even with a Life Orb, like, this can hit still hard, man. Like I said, it's just 10% lower than Tapu Koko. Obviously, again, I don't want to compare it to Koko because electric terrain boosted Thunderbolts are strong, but this thing can be pretty strong, and even in the lower tiers, and being faster than, you know, massive threats down there. Pretty cool. So let me know your thoughts, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye, my friends.